It is only fair, Mr. President, that this time around, when there is some cheering news, I should mention this to this Senate, and I feel that today I want to say that several territories hitherto completely inaccessible to Nigerian authorities have been liberated. Monguno, which is a key military zone housing a whole brigade of the Nigerian Army, has been liberated. Baga, my hometown, the operational headquarters of the multinational task force, has been liberated. Malam Faturi, a local government headquarters, which is also housing a whole battalion of Nigerian Army that was taken over by Boko Haram, has been liberated. Damasak, one of the local governments, also housing some 500 Nigerian troops that were taken over by the Boko Haram, has been liberated. And the effort is ongoing, and I think it is only fair that no matter what is left, it is important that we appreciate what is being done. And I want to say that our troops are much more up and doing, and we appreciate that effort, and we ask them to do more so that in the areas that have been liberated, mopping up is concluded for the communities to go back. And I am very sure that very soon we will hear good news from Bama and Goza, because they are the two key areas that are outstanding.
Well, welcome back. We're still with the Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Bonny Haruna. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Well, we're still on this issue of insurgency and the IDPs. Right now, some of the camps, many people express fear that the camps just could be harboring members of the sect. You know, how true could this be right now?
Well, I don't think so, just as much as I can also not say not true, but I don't think there is any situation that gives us doubt as to the security of the camp or the camps. It is not yet on record that there was an indication of the insurgents infiltrating the camp. But that is not impossible. But from all records and from what I know, nothing like that has happened. Secondly, as I've said, everybody, every member of these camps wants to go back home, wants to go back to their areas of natural habitation. So it's not as if they enjoy being in these camps. It's not a normal place for them to stay. So everybody is eager, and as I've said, the government is doing everything possible to encourage them to go. The documentation started from the day that these camps were opened, and most of the members, most of those in these camps come from almost the same areas, and they almost know each other. There's virtually nobody that doesn't know anybody in these camps, from my knowledge. If you go now to Yola, the NYC camp, for example, there are people from Goza, they know themselves. There are people from Minchka, they know themselves. There are people from... So there's a kind of self-security consciousness in the camp, or in the camps. So I don't think there's any cause. But we are even trying to go beyond camps now, since people are moving back to their... I can assure you that in the next 2 weeks, we may not be talking of camps, particularly in these areas, particularly in Adamos, for example, you know, because the camps have started cleaning, with people going back to their respective areas. I've told you, Mubi is almost in, life is almost fully back to normalcy in Mubi. The same thing in Gombe, the same thing in Hong, the same thing in Maiha. So the only places that you are talking of camps now are people from Minchka And even then, they have started moving. So we should not be talking of camps in the next 2 weeks.
Now, the federal government is rebuilding the school in Chibok right now, and many people seem to be against and for this idea. But again, the question is, why is it just in Chibok, or is it just in Chibok? Are there other plans to rebuild other schools in affected areas?
No, there are plans to do that under the Safe Schools program. So the fact that it started in Chibok does not mean that other places ignored or will not be attended to. Chibok, as you know, happens to be very central in the issue. So it's not that the other places are secondary. All other places that have suffered destruction of schools and other public infrastructure will also be given attention by the government.
But really, is this a very solid solution, given the fact that violence seems to be continuing in these areas?
That is not true.
What sort of confidence do we have?
That is not true. Violence is reducing, given the level of successes recorded by the military. I remember when the president went to Baga and returned to